Roll Tide, everybody. I just first want to thank you for just tuning in every day to see what's going on from my perspective with the Crimson Tide. And I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting the channel and all the comments and the likes. I just can't thank you enough. I also want to say or encourage you all to say a special prayer for Elijah Pritchett. Let's hope that man keeps his his mental in check as he makes it through this test. And I'm praying for him because he has a public mistake that the public can see. I know I have my mistakes. You've probably made yours. I just hope he comes out on the other side of this thing wiser, which is usually what happens. Today, we're going to talk about the post of Big Discussions76. This man is a scientist, PhD in everything, if I'm not mistaken, and kind of hard to follow. I get the feeling that a lot of Michigan people are really into the Vegas thing with betting on games because they really love breaking down numbers. Now, I will tell you, just, whatever you got to do, get you a glass of wine or whatever, so you can keep your nerves in check, because some of the things here may trigger you as it has triggered me, but I will help you understand some things he's saying so you just don't see this man out in California or some other time and try to get busy with him in the parking lot, because he says some things that is kind of questionable. He tried to blame it on stuff. You'll see what I'm saying as we go on, but I'm going to speed some of this up because, like most professors, this brother is long-winded.
All right, Bama fan, let's lift up the hood and see what's under there. Let's see what you got for us. Welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. My name is Dr. Anwar Dunbar. I am a proud Michigan alum, and I am also a proud supporter of our Michigan football team and our coaching staff and our winged helmets and our proud football history. Go Blue.
Now, he talks about his pride in the Michigan Wolverines, and we understand that. But it's at this point where he doesn't understand the pride that people have in their football teams, namely with the fans of the Crimson Tide. He took, offense to some of the comments he got from you guys, and even is upset with Georgia fans for cooking their bacon in a bowl a few years ago. Here's what he had to say.
Bama fan came. So thank you for coming, Bama fan. And I was reminded of just how confrontational and passionate and overzealous and indignant Bama fan and SEC fans can be. I got my first taste of that a couple of years ago when our beloved Wolverines were demolished in the Peach Bowl, I believe, by the Georgia Bulldogs. Do you guys know that Bulldog fan, they gloated and they rubbed it in after that video, not just after the game, but a year later, and then 2 years later, Bulldog fan kept coming back. They kept coming back to pile on more. The game was over, but Bulldog fan kept coming back. So once again, salute to SEC fan, Bama fan in particular. You guys are passionate, confrontational, indignant, and in some instances, just overzealous. It's like an orthodoxy, SEC football. And I guess this is what they mean with the saying, it just means more in the SEC.
Okay, wait a minute. I need to slow down. Overzealous, that means excessively enthusiastic. Okay, I'll take that. Orthodoxy, that's adhering to an accepted or traditional and established faith, especially in religion. But, football is kind of important down here. I kind of roll with that. I roll with JC. I don't know about nobody else. But indignant, synonym, angry. Anger aroused by something perceived as unworthy. Like when a team that has won nothing, they just gonna beat you down just because they show up. Team that is unproven has fans that are just all up in our grill talking about what they're gonna do to us. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the comments.
Okay, now a few words about Coach Saban before I jump into the statistics.
And I'm going to continue to live that way and try to do what's right. And, that's who Nick Saban is. All right, so regardless of what anybody says, that's who Nick Saban is.
Okay, so before I take a look at the Alabama Crimson Tide's football season and their key statistics, I just want to say a few words about the whole Chef Nick Saban cooking the schedule thing and not scheduling strong opponents. So, Bama fan, I did not make that up. I did not create that. That came into my brain and my zeitgeist by osmosis.
Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Osmosis, a process of absorption or diffusion. Zeitgeist, it's a noun. The general intellectual, moral, and cultural climate of the era. So perhaps he was around somebody that caused that Freudian flip where he used the word chef instead of Coach Saban, winner of blah, 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 national championships, 30 SEC, maybe that was it, producer of Heisman. Maybe some kind of Freudian flip. But I did want to just go over osmosis and zeitgeist. I never thought I would hear those words in relation to football outside of the place where they manufacture football. This is incredible.
I have two buddies, Abdul Gaines and Raheem Gaines. They don't like the SEC. They often disparage the SEC. And I hear a lot about Chef Nick Saban cooking the schedule and not scheduling strong opponents and not playing Power 5 opponents on the road in the non-conference schedule. And I hear a lot about him scheduling weak opponents before playing Auburn or LSU. So that's just, when I said Chef Nick Saban cooking the schedule, scheduling cupcakes, I did not make that up. It just leaked out after hearing it so much from two close buddies. So I just want to say that. A lot of you took exception with those words being said. So with that, I'm going to jump into the Alabama season and the statistics. So respect to Coach Saban and everything he's done at Alabama, at least from me.
Okay, but my mama said be careful of the company you keep.
Okay, so I'm a scientist, and I think in terms of data. So we're going to start very broad, and then we're going to work our way down to the individual team and player statistics. So underneath my initial Rose Bowl video, there was a lot of banter back and forth, mostly from Bama fan, mostly from SEC fan, but a few Michigan fans got in there, and one said, take a look at the Auburn game. So I said, okay, well, let's take a look at the Alabama schedule. Let's see how the Crimson Tide got here. So the Crimson Tide, they went 12-1. They were 6-1 at home and 5-0 away. And they were 1-0 in a neutral field setting. That was probably against Georgia. All right. So the Tide opened up against Middle Tennessee. They defeated them 56-7. They lost to the Texas Longhorns 24-34 in the All-State Crossbar Classic. I think that was before Coach Saban settled on Jalen Milroe as the starting quarterback. They defeated South Florida 17-3. They defeated Ole Miss 24-10, so 2 touchdowns. They defeated Mississippi State 40-17. They defeated Texas A&M 26-20. They defeated the Arkansas Razorbacks 24-21. They defeated Tennessee 34-20. They defeated LSU 42-28. They defeated Kentucky 49-21. Okay, so here's one of those soft teams my two buddies were talking about. They defeated Chattanooga 66-10 before playing Auburn in the Iron Bowl. And they defeated.
See, now I just don't understand. How can you give somebody respect and say you didn't have nothing to do with it because of my friend, mama, they were throwing rocks, it wasn't me, and then gonna come right back and reiterate the same point that your quote-unquote friends have made? Come on, man. Now, out of respect for you guys, I sped through this because he goes through every stat. And trust me, and I trust him by saying, I'm going to tell y'all may already know this, Alabama players do not lead any statistical individual categories. We are not tops in defense, offense, but I can tell you that pretty much everybody at the top of those lists, we have already defeated them. So I don't get it. This man believes in statistics to a point. I'm going to go back and I'm going to analyze, what they did against these 3 teams and see how we're going to look as a team. That doesn't work. My friends always caution me about this man got me drop stuff all in my lab. Anyway, my friends always caution me about using the transitive principle. If LSU beat Ole Miss by this, and then we beat Ole Miss by that, then that yields that we should beat Georgia by that. I sometimes it match up, but people are different, teams are different, and how we looked at Texas, we know that's not how we looked against the number 1 team in the country. And thank goodness for that. But I'll let him give his final words. Then I got some things I want to share about some statistical figures and a few other things.
So that's an analysis of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think it's worth noting that while statistics tell a story and they give a nice indicator of who the other team is and what they do, both teams ultimately have to play the games, and statistics are a snapshot. They're a snapshot of what happened, but they're not the ultimate predictor of what will happen when the two teams line up. But that gives us a nice feel for what we're going to see in the Rose Bowl on January 1st. So we know that Jalen Milroe he can throw the ball, he can run the ball. We know that they have receivers, they have running backs, and Bama plays defense, and they use the punter to play the field position game, and they have an accurate kicker. So, and they have a very crafty and experienced coaching staff, at least in terms of the head coach. But a lot of people are picking Alabama, even though right now the prediction is close, based upon them being an SEC team with all the 5 stars and them leading major college football and NFL draft picks, and them leading in the number of national championships since the start of the college football playoff. Just on that pedigree alone, a lot of people are picking them to demolish Michigan. But the teams have to play the games. And it's ultimately, I think it's a good thing as a Michigan fan if Michigan is disrespected. Because athletes get inspired by, and they get motivated by disrespect. So Bama fan, everybody, Paul Feinbaum, everybody, yes, please continue picking Alabama to demolish our Michigan Wolverines.
I don't think you got to worry about that, pal. I don't think you got to worry about the people in the really SEC network, whatever, nation. We're definitely probably not going to be picking Big Blue. Now, the good doc likes numbers, so let me look at a number right quick. Just picked out a strength of schedule at the beginning of the season. What do you see? Alabama is ranked number 4 by this publication, and spoiler alert, Michigan was ranked number 1 by this same publication. But when they mixed them all together, as you can see, the Crimson Tide, according to this publication, which said Michigan had the toughest schedule in the country, Alabama, once they put a composite together of all other type of preseason rankings, we had the number 6 schedule. Number 6 schedule cooked up by the chef. Oh, but let's see wait a minute. The same publication that said Michigan had the number 1 toughest schedule in the country, when they put the composite together, somebody sniffed on that thing and said, that's bull. They was number 51. You got the little hanging Tennessee, you got Duke ahead of them, and then you come up with Michigan. Oh my. Well, who's cooking in Ann Arbor? Because whoever it is must have trained at the Cordon Bleu in Paris, France, because they cooking up pastries, cream puffs, cakes, everything on this schedule. And what about this? Let me slow this one down. Let me calm down. Woosah. ESPN. Can you read that, folks? It states, we have a repeat winner. For the second time in a row, Michigan has earned the honor of playing the nation's cushiest non-conference schedule. The 2-time defending Big Ten champion doesn't face a single Power 5 opponent. This was also a case a year ago, marking the first time in 78 years the Wolverines didn't play a non-conference game against a current Power 5 member, or Notre Dame. That's kind of a shot at Notre Dame. And look at this. They opened with 3 straight home games against some Krispy Kreme donuts. East Carolina, that's your Glaze. UNLV, that's probably your stuffed. And Bowling Green, which is probably like a combo, probably like a bait thing they got down there with the little, with the sprinkles on it. Probably got sprinkles on it. Come on, man. What you cooking up? I mean, since you're doing scientific research, why don't you look up the fact that when we were playing Clemson at the beginning of the year, back in 2009 or whatever, against one of them Bowden boys, and when we became very, very dominant, it was hard to put people on the schedule. who really wanted to mix it up. Until Sark came along, really. He does that to challenge his team, to get his team focused on the beginning of the season. So I don't know what you guys are trying to do to focus your team, but we gonna be all right. But y'all got something else y'all need to worry about. Oh my goodness. Here we go. The NCAA delivering a notice of investigation because while y'all at the Big Ten may have punished Coach Harbaugh, no, the NCAA, which is a toothless lion right now, for some reason, they want to try to suck on y'all limbs and crush your bones a little bit. Yeah. They kept telling us this is all about hamburgers. Yeah, he bought some hamburgers when he wasn't supposed to buy hamburgers. For the first time in a long time, you have to go read this article. The NCAA director said this ain't about hamburgers. He didn't say what it was about, but he said it's about more than hamburgers. So what did you do? What did you do when you literally could go to a billionaire and say, hey, Billy man, can you give me some cash so I can go out and get me some players? That's totally legal. What did Jim Harbaugh and the offensive coordinator and this dude who they trying to blame it on, I'm gonna call him Stafford Oliver North. What did you do? I look forward to hearing about this, but this is not about Jim Harbaugh. Oh, no. I like Jim Harbaugh because Jim Harbaugh totally dismisses and disrespects the NCAA. But there's a price to pay. I pay prices for being disrespectful to authority, but I understand. This is not really a Harbaugh problem. This is a problem for the Wolverine Nation because Harbaugh has options. He got Uber Blacks waiting for him at the airports in several NFL cities to get him out of this blue mess he finds himself in. Because in this very article, they talk about he's facing a possible 6-game suspension. And because they're saying they're looking at secondary violations and repeated violations, which can really hit you upside the head really hard. Trust me, we know here at the Crimson Tide Nation that repeat violations is a problem. They may give him more than that. So if he's looking at being suspended for a whole year or most of the year, or if he gets told you can't be at spring, you can't do nothing in the summer, and then you're gonna miss half of the season, he like, man, I gotta get up out of here. What you gonna do then, Big Blue? Better go analyze that. Put that up under your microscope. Yes. So let me take a step back and just wish all of you the merriest of Christmases. Just in case you don't get a chance to check out the channel till after the holidays and those things are busy, my beautiful wife has been scurrying all over the city, gathering things. I got a long honey-do list I gotta take care of, but I love it. I love it. Until next time, like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with friends, and always roll, tide, roll.